discovered at the suspect's apartment that shocked them. Cook has been suspended from the university and is now banned from campus as well. Passengers on a Boston commuter train had to force their way out after a fire broke out. Cell phone video shows thick smoke spilling into the station from the train's engine. The overheated engine started a fire on the train and on the track as well. Frantic passengers kicked out windows to escape the smoke. No one was seriously injured in this incident. A Tennessee family is suing Amazon for $30 million after a hoverboard fire destroyed their home. 2 children were trapped inside during the fire and had to jump from the second story to escape. The family blames the online retailer and not the manufacturer because they say Amazon failed to say where the board actually came from. An assistant high school football coach in New Mexico was accused of multiple sexual encounters with students. According to court documents, 24-year-old Damian Hyatt has abused 5 teenage victims. Several girls have come forward and admitted to sending and receiving lewd pictures through Snapchat with Hyatt. One victim says he pressured her for sex until she agreed to send him explicit photos. New research shows walking in school safe zones may not be the safest place for children anymore. Safe Kids Worldwide researchers recently watched thousands of middle and high school students cross the street in school zones. They discovered about 80% of students were distracted by headphones or texting. Researchers say nearly 1/3 of people driving through the zones were blocking crosswalks, double parking, and even distracted by their cell phones. Phoenix police went on an unusual car chase last night that took them through a drive-thru. Police followed a man in a pickup truck through the city streets until the driver apparently pulled to an In-N-Out burger joint to order food. The driver was able to speed off after getting his food and police lost sight of him. He was later arrested after jumping from his vehicle behind an apartment. It is still unclear why police pursued him in the first place. New Fairfield, Connecticut is seeing its first sign of winter. The state saw some wet flakes early this morning. Temperatures in many parts of the state are staying below what is normal, some even as low as 20 degrees. Accumulation is not expected as the temperatures are expected to rise above freezing. Hopefully we're not seeing any snow anytime soon. Let's send it over to Tori Stepanek for a look at our afternoon forecast. If you or someone you know is planning to attend college next year, it's time to apply for financial aid. KMUH's Louise Rodriguez is in our newsroom to tell us more.
Federal student aid is now available through an FAFSA application if you sign up by deadline. FAFSA, or the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, is a U.S. Department of Education program that offers more than $150 billion each year according to their website. Eligibility is determined by financial need, which is defined as the difference between the cost of attendance at a school and your expected family contribution, which is determined through tax documents. Help can come in the form of work study, grants, and loans, and one local employee says it's better to get this filled out sooner rather than later.
Missouri's priority deadline is February 1st, so absolutely you want to make sure you have it done by then at the latest, but the earlier the better, then you don't have to worry about it. It's no more stress to think about.
Columbia College is hosting FAFSA Frenzy tonight from 6 to 8 to help fill out applications. To sign up or learn more, visit KOMU.com.
Jumpstart's Read for the Record event wrapped up just about an hour ago, but organizers hope children's enthusiasm for reading won't stop there. Community members and teachers read the same book to about 200 preschoolers. The event aimed to promote early literacy by encouraging adults to read to children. A Jumpstart team leader says children's interest in reading at a young age can dictate future success.
I think in the community it raises the awareness that children are incredibly intelligent and incredibly curious, and we need to use that to their advantage and help them succeed later on in life.
Field School's principal says children are more likely to read on their own if adults frequently read to them. She says it's also important for kids to have someone who listens to them when they read. Hundreds of students with disabilities, their families, and educators are attending the 8th annual Tools for Life Transition Summit in Jefferson City today. The Governor's Council on Disability and Missouri Parents Act hosted the event. MPACT aims to teach families about resources so they can advocate for children with disabilities.
Hopefully they'll absolutely be empowered to go out and live their dreams and find their way in adult life, just like everybody else.
October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. People in one mid-Missouri city may be surprised when they go to pay their taxes. Fulton property owners will be charged extra, roughly $5 per $1,000 in value, because the Callaway County clerk made an error on reports sent to the state auditor. The county clerk overstated Fulton's total assessed valuation by more than $4 million.
The tax levy is calculated on the assessed valuation. The financial impact to the city is about $27,500 in additional revenue that they would not normally get.
Kritzer says city and county officials noticed the error back in August, but the county clerk failed to make changes. To fix the problem, Fulton city officials will lower next year's tax rate. Taking selfies is very common, but depending on where you live, it could be illegal in a voting booth. Missouri stands in a legal gray area by allowing cell phones and photos at polling places, but making it illegal to take a picture of a filled-out ballot. A Mid-Missouri County clerk hopes voters exercise their right to vote, but don't slow down the process.
We're not going to be policing our booths for cell phones on Election Day. We're going to have a busy day with a big turnout, and I hope that people aren't taking selfies inside the booth, probably mostly because it'll slow down the process. It's a long ballot.
Taking a photo of a filled-out ballot or disrupting a polling place could land you in jail and give you a $2,000 fine. Coming up later in the show, Missouri's gubernatorial race is almost over, and politicians are doing what they can to bring in the votes. Hear how candidates on both sides of the aisle are facing some issues. The MKT trail from Providence to Stadium is finally reopened after being delayed 3 separate times. A sewer construction project that began in June was expected to end in late September. That date was pushed back until it reopened this week. About a half mile of the trail was closed, and the city couldn't reopen the trail because of an excessive amount of rock underground and rainy days during the summer. It's possible the section may need to close again in December for minor construction, but the closure would only last for a few days. The construction's purpose was to replace old sewers and keep up with the infrastructure demands downtown.
They're all very old and carried the flows that they needed to until all the new big apartment buildings started going in downtown, and just a lot more demand on the sewer system as well as the water system and electrical system too. So,
even though the trail is open, there is still some construction going on. In about a month, crews will close the MKT for about 2 additional months at Providence and Stewart Road. Fitzgerald says the new sewer mains will last several decades. KMU8 News at noon will be back right after this. In less than 2 weeks, Missouri's gubernatorial race will finally be over, but candidates on both sides are facing some issues. KMU8's Allison Ross tells us why Democrats want Eric Greitens' dark money source investigated and how Republicans are fighting back. That was Allison Ross reporting. Democrats say they will be sending a letter to the SEC to investigate this issue further. Coming up next in your Angie's List report, one couple transformed a barn into their dream home. Learn how they made it eco-friendly and what you can do to go green while improving your own house. Whether it's recycling bottles or carpooling to work, millions of Americans take part in eco-friendly activities every day. But how can you carry that over when building or renovating your home? In today's Angie's List report, we meet a couple who took going green to heart, and now they're living in their dream house. Dave Brown and his wife Jane are loving the retirement. It was a barn before being converted into a beautiful living space using leadership and energy and environmental design specifications. The internationally known LEED program recognizes sustainable building practices.
We'd also become, over the years, more concerned about climate change and about use of energy, both from an economic point of view and an environmental point of view.
The couple worked with Peter Taggart, who specializes in LEED-accredited home building. He says building green requires a long-term perspective.
We really try to encourage our customers to look at, for instance, spending a little bit more on a window or more efficiency on a heating system, and then looking at a payback for that.
Building an energy efficient or environmentally friendly home is going to cost you more up front, but you need a long-term perspective because it's going to save you money on your monthly energy bills throughout your time in the home.
The U.S. Green Building Council expects the residential green construction market to top $100 million by 2018. Taggart says building green can be done on a budget with good planning that takes advantage of natural energy.
We've got south-facing windows that you see behind me that help with solar, passive solar energy, and it really does. In the winter, we get a lot of warmth through those windows.
Other green features of the home include dense-packed cellulose insulation, solar hot water, an on-demand water heater, radiant heat flooring, and lots of recycled wood from the original construction. These features could increase the home's resale value, but Dave and Jane expect to stay put.
Good afternoon, Mid-Missouri. I'm Randy Bass with today's Red Carpet Report. The Hollywood Walk of Fame says it will replace Donald Trump's star after it was heavily damaged in a bizarre incident Wednesday morning. The man in a construction vest and hard hat, identifying himself as James Otis, took a sledgehammer and pickaxe to Trump's star. Witnesses say he tried to pry the star out of its spot, then smashed parts of it to bits. The man's current whereabouts are unknown, but police say he could face felony vandalism charges. Michael Phelps got married, apparently a while ago, and he just didn't tell anybody. During the Summer Games in August, the 23-time gold medalist told People magazine that he and Nicole Johnson had set a wedding date. It turns out that the date was before the interview, and they had already been married for months. TMZ first reported on the couple's secret ceremony. People now confirms Phelps and Johnson got married in June during a ceremony in Paradise Valley, Arizona. Newlywed Ciara and Russell Wilson are expecting. The singer and the Seattle Seahawks quarterback got married this past July. And on Tuesday, they used social media to announce that they're expecting a baby. They made this announcement on Ciara's 31st birthday. This is their first child together. Ciara has a 2-year-old son from a previous relationship with rapper Future. And that's it for today's Hollywood headlines.
Now here's a look at what we're following for KMU8 News First at 5. Attorney General Chris Koster has filed a lawsuit against a costume store in Columbia for selling cosmetic contact lenses without a prescription. Plus, after this week's marijuana bust in Howard County, we take a look at how state and federal officials patrol isolated areas for illegal activity. It's all coming up on KMU8 News First at 5. Customers in one Indiana diner got quite a surprise when a deer crashed through a window. Let's take a look at this video. After crashing through the window, let's see, where's it coming from? Oh my goodness, did you see it? It ran by right there. The deer ran over tables and nearly collided with a woman near the, yep, there it is. Oh my goodness, near the entrance. Now customers and the deer scurried to find an exit. It was finally able to find an exit by crashing through another window. Very fitting to leave the restaurant in the way you came in. Goodness, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Think about looking for deer at night on the roads.
Yeah, not during the day.
Not when you're eating lunch.
I gotta say though, deer, something I think every Missourian knows is the hazards of driving with deer. You have to honk. You can't just blast the lights because they'll run right into it.
Oh, exactly.
Goodness, I know. That's something that a lot of our out-of-state reporters aren't used to when they come here. Is that
the
deer. It's a whole nother art. It's a battle of wits sometimes. Anyway, that's about our time for today, everyone. Have a good afternoon.